FetHeads everywhere. Welcome to the cabin. If you're new here, I hope I can be helpful, and if you visited before, thank you very much for coming back. I've been working on this video for about 6 months. Complications from life, work, and the pandemic have made extra production a chore. But here we are, so let's talk audio. I was motivated to make this video because I saw so many reviewers compare the FetHead to other XLR inline amplifiers, and they would say things that could be misleading if you didn't know better. While trolling other creators is not my style, but I have created a list of videos to produce in order to correct the record. Maybe because I'm a control freak or a grumpy old man, probably both. I own and have used FetHead products for years, or to be more accurate, I own and have used Triton audio products, which include the FetHead line. In preparation for this video, while I was writing and fact-checking, I sent a list of questions to Triton Audio with the explanation that their answers would be used to clarify common misconceptions and omissions about their product line as described in online videos. In short, I was making a video and wanted to get my facts straight. They quickly replied to my questions and added, "A package is on the way." So this video is based on my experience, my opinion, and the technical specs included with the Triton audio products themselves, or a detail I got as a result of my questions. Triton Audio did send me something, although I don't know what it is yet, so I have listed this as a promoted video. They have not paid me or asked me to say anything about their products. They did say some of their products have not been reviewed online. Perhaps those are in the box. Triton Audio has no editorial control of the content to come and won't get a link to the video until it has been posted for at least a week. The first portion of this video will be my description of the products I own, and then I'll open the box and we'll go from there. Okay, while editing this video, I confirmed what I thought while I was recording. Not exciting, but fact-filled. Not really compelling video. I will follow this series with a deeper dive of each of these products with use cases further explained and demonstrated. If you would like me to try something specific with these products, tell me what and why, and I'll see what I can do. Okay, the FetHead. The FetHead is an inline XLR microphone amplifier. It uses phantom power, which is typically supplied by the interface or mixer or phantom power supply, but does not allow power to travel to the microphone. FET, or FET, in the name stands for field effect transistor. FETs come in a few varieties and are often categorized by their application, but sometimes by the material from which they are made and or the circuit organization in which they are employed. Most FETs in condenser microphones are JFETs, which stand for junction gate field effect transistor, usually made of a silicon base. The FetHead provides 27 decibels of gain for dynamic moving coil microphones with low sensitivity, a commonly recognized use for these products. It also aids in impedance matching and amplification of ribbon microphones. Solid-state electronics have solved many of the issues of power transfer and fidelity associated with impedance, but the FetHead is designed to maximize the utility of ribbon mics by decreasing the load on the microphone, which increases transient response. The FetHead's low noise amplification also extends the dynamic range of ribbon microphones, making it more suitable to record quieter acoustic sources. The FetHead Germanium is all that and then some by providing 27 decibels of gain, 2 more than the FetHead. I mentioned a moment ago that FETs are usually made of silicon. This is not necessarily because silicon is the best material for FETs used in audio, but it is very inexpensive and easier to manufacture for some applications. Another tangent. Before transistors, we had tubes. Transistors came along and solid-state electronics were born. Some of the earliest transistors were made of germanium, not silicon. Germanium was abandoned due to material and cost to manufacture, but not audio performance. And many semiconductor manufacturers are looking at previously implemented uses of germanium, especially in audio circuits. One of the reasons we like tubes is because of their coloration or distortion or harmonics. Use whatever term you like. In some implementations, neutral is better, which is what you get with the silicon JFET. But germanium transistors were widely used in the earliest transistor preamps designed by Neve, EMI, Telefunken, Fairchild, and the like, and created what we now recognize as a decidedly vintage sound. The FetHead germanium provides gain and this vintage flavor. Now, the product that motivated me to make a FetHead video, the FetHead Phantom. Time after time, I heard reviewers comparing the FetHead to another product, and they would invariably say that inline microphone preamps do not work with condenser microphones. Well, as far as I know, and perhaps it's my time to be wrong, that this is true for all other manufacturers of similar products, but not true for Triton Audio and the FetHead Phantom. The FetHead Phantom supplies 18 decibels of gain to condenser, dynamic, active dynamic, or active ribbon microphones. I would not recommend using it on a vintage or common ribbon microphone. For those, I use the FetHead or FetHead Germanium. My most common use case is on vintage small diaphragm condensers that need a boost, or on a drum mic that I've padded. I use the FetHead Phantom because I want a good level coming into the mic pre on the board. So the non-FetHead in this group is the Phantom Blocker. Why? And what, you might ask? Well, for me, it's all about protection. The Phantom Blocker does just that, blocks phantom power. You might say, just turn phantom power off. Good idea, but not always easy. I'll give you a couple of scenarios for this product. If I have students using an expensive ribbon, or perhaps a vintage high-impedance microphone, or instrument DI, I will strongly suggest that they use a phantom blocker. If you've ever been around youngsters learning about audio, you may see them randomly pushing buttons when they can't get a level. I don't want anyone turning on phantom power where it is not needed or wanted. Even when carelessness is not a concern, I have been in a situation where an artist or a client wanted to try a ribbon microphone or a vintage harmonica mic after I've got things laid out and labeled. Well, some boards and interfaces turn phantom power off and on to all channels or banks of channels. On one of my large format Mackie consoles, phantom power turns on in groups of 8. I would rather use a phantom blocker on a channel with power than rewire and relabel my entire session. Now, the last Triton Audio product I own, and the reason I contacted Triton Audio in the first place, the FetHead filter. Like the FetHead, it provides 27 decibels of gain, but this device incorporates a bass roll-off or high-pass filter if you prefer, at 6 decibels per octave, beginning at 220 Hz. I contacted Triton Audio and asked if there was a notch filter available. The answer was no, and this was their reply. Our FetHead filter has a first-order high-pass filter with a gentle roll-off of 6 dB per octave. We chose 220 Hz as a corner frequency to compensate for extreme proximity effect. We can change the corner frequency to anything you like. At the moment, we can't do a notch filter on the FetHead. We are experimenting with more complex passive filters for future products. So that's cool. No notch filter for now, but you can contact them to modify the corner frequency for a custom filter. Again, why a filter? Well, it could be the voice, or a rumble, or the room, or the mic, or some combination, especially if your mic doesn't have a bass roll-off. Future videos will walk you through each of these products. So those are my thoughts on the 5 products I own. Let's see what's in the box. The FetHead Broadcast. I used one of these years ago. The FetHead Broadcast is an inline microphone preamplifier which supplies 23 decibels of amplification without noise. It's the big bad brother of the FetHead Phantom, as phantom power is transferred to the microphone, which means it's good for all modern mics, but probably shouldn't be used with vintage or ribbon microphones. Check with the microphone manufacturer. I used these to mic an orchestra from the front of house position. I don't recall the details, but the cable runs were crazy long. These are specifically engineered to minimize the loss with long cable runs and are built to travel. I'm building a new recording studio, and these might be just the thing to get a stereo signal from that console to the radio station located elsewhere in the building. The Airhead is an inline attenuation device which decreases the signal level by minus 15 decibels. A pad, a pre-attenuation device. It is passive, which means it needs no power, but does allow phantom power to pass, so it can be used with any appropriate XLR microphone. I know a news photographer that always has one of these in his pocket. Sometimes he's plugging up an RE50, and other times he has to deal with a really hot signal from a new wireless system. In my experience, a signal that is a bit low is usually a whole lot easier to deal with in post than one that is heavily clipped. No, thanks for watching to the end. I plan to make specific videos on each of these products next. If there is a use case you would like me to include in any of the videos, let me know in the comments or contact me at redcabinacoustic.com. Peace and be safe.